Well, of course, it is day 2 of the FSCA conference on financial literacy and covering other topics, including the grey listing of South Africa. But today, of course, we've heard from Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana presenting that keynote address here today, highlighting some issues in terms of regulation and also just outlining the successes of South Africa's G20 finance track meeting that were held earlier this month. But of course, we're going to turn now to the Minister just to get more of his thoughts on today's finance or FSCA conference. And of course, Minister, thank you so much for your time this afternoon rather. Minister, you made the point around the budget that there's going to be some trade-offs that need to happen. Talk to us about where, of course, you sort of want to give us reflections on it.
No, now, I make the point that I've done my job. I've tabled proposals, both revenue and expenditure proposal before the National Assembly. Now, that National Assembly is a representative of the people of South Africa. There will be one way we have to make those choices, and I'll follow. I'll have to respond to whatever proposal that emerges from the committee.
Talk to us about the grey listing. That was also something that was highlighted yesterday in terms of South Africa, where we are in making progress. We heard from the FSCA that they're very confident that we'll be getting off the grey list soon. Give us your reflections.
I think we are left with 2 items for us to get off the grey listing. We're working hard to clear those issues. We think by the end of October this year, we'll be, that's my guess, we'll be out of the grey listing.
And of course, we heard from the US Fed yesterday. They mentioned their sort of, they gave us their interest rate sort of outlook, holding steady there. But Jerome Powell also made the comments around global inflation. As a finance minister, give us your reflections on global inflation, especially on the impact that might have on South Africa's economy.
Look, I don't know at this stage how things are looking at it. We'll hear from the governor this afternoon. I don't want to predict what he's going to say, but global inflation is a major challenge. But I want to reserve my comment on it until the governor has clarified what their view is.
And then just finally, I made the point earlier that you had spoken to us about regulation. Maybe just if you could just reiterate that point that you had made around regulations in South Africa and where you stand on that.
Look, there's a positive role regulations play, which no society operates without regulations, and no sector of the economy operates without regulations. The key question is how far those regulations are being used and how stringent are they in such a manner that they themselves do not become a hindrance.
All right, we'll leave it there, Minister. Thank you so much, of course.
Thank you.
All right, that was Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana, of course, giving us his thoughts on a wide range of topics, the grey listing, regulations in South Africa, and also just on the national budget that he had tabled earlier this month. Of course, Nosipho, Radebe, SABC News, Johannesburg.